Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Beth Ellicott.
And I'm Cindy Baldwin.
And this is the midweek version of the Fiber Talk podcast that we do twice a week in one form or another because it's fun to do. And yeah, we're all three here this week because why not?
Right.
Why not? Yep. Uh, Traveling this weekend to see our son and daughter-in-law and granddaughters. So gonna try and get a show up Sunday, but if one doesn't show up, that's why. Just simply doing a family thing. So I will make every effort to do it, but can't promise 100%. So I can't tell you who it's going to be because I don't know if it's going to happen. I have a couple of them recorded, so it's not a problem. Be sure and check out our second Canvas show that we posted February 19.
Excellent.
You look at the thing on YouTube and it says an hour and a half, and people are going to freak out. I put in the show notes that we did. The first part was about reading charts, and then at the 1 hour mark, so you can jump ahead, we talk about laying tools. So you can I put it in there so people can jump because an hour and a half is a long haul. But that was fun to do, and yeah, we've had lots of people say how much they appreciated the discussions. So
That's great.
yeah,
They were good.
so
It was very
yeah.
good. Well done.
So check that out. Check that out, and I've got a couple ideas for shows between now and the next one already. So
And keep
um,
the suggestions and questions coming in.
yep,
Yes.
yeah, those are a huge help. Yeah. Well, I mean, they give us what people want to know about. So yeah, yep. And I think that show, the half hour we did on laying tools, we're looking at counted canvas through a lot of this, but laying tools that applies anywhere, painted canvas, all kinds of stitching. So yeah, we kind of got right into the weeds with that stuff, so that was fun. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really good.
yeah, yep. So check that out. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things, please. That does help. Yeah.
Mhm.
And join Patreon if you're interested in supporting us. Got lots of extra content up there, and we get these shows go up a little early as I can make them. And every third Wednesday we do a Patreon uh, live Zoom show for the Silver Needle people, and I really
That's
enjoy
fun.
those.
I do too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I enjoy them for two reasons. One, there's no prep, just show up, don't have to do anything. But then it's just a great group of people. We every time we have a great discussion.
Hmm.
Yeah, so check that out. Patreon.com/fibertalk is the deal on that. So if you want to do that, this this one it was a reel or something. I don't know where it was, Facebook, Instagram, some reel somewhere. This guy Sir Ken Robinson. I didn't look him up, but by the Sir I'm going to assume British. But this hit to me. It hit the spot. If you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. The result is that we are educating people out of their creative capacities. Picasso once said that all children are born artists. The problem is to remain an artist as we grow up. And then Ken continues, I believe this passionately that we don't grow into creativity, we grow out of it. Or rather, we get educated out of it. I thought he just absolutely nailed that whole issue
Hmm.
with that. Brilliant. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we've said that before.
Yep. See it all the time. All
Hmm.
the time. Yeah. Yep.
I
Well,
think the key thing is too is not to be afraid to be wrong.
right.
You
Right.
know, I how you know if you don't try it. I'm getting ready to cut up a piece, literally cut up a piece of embroidery. I was discussing it with friends. I'd been working on it and working on it for years, and I don't like it. I'm ready. I'm ready to take scissors to it and cut it. And it's a major big deal because we're talking years of work, and I'm ready to chop at it because it's not right. Every time I look at it, I say, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. I keep trying to make it work, and it's like now I'm cutting it. How bad could it be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then you don't have it always there hanging on you, you know, it's working on it to keep trying to fix it. And yeah, at some point you just have to say, okay, this one's useful for something else.
Yeah.
And I learned
Yeah.
something. I learned so many things during the process. So if I hadn't started it, if I hadn't done anything, I would have never learned any of these things. There would have just been ideas floating around in my head, which has too much stuff floating in it anyway. So um, it was,
Yeah.
it's, I think that just sometimes as people who do embroidery, we kind of run up into that perfectionist. Got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yep.
not always going to be perfect.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. And maybe your imperfection is really the creativity.
Hmm.
And that, yeah,
Hmm.
and that's where we chase it out of people. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
that's not perfect. Well, maybe it is to me. Maybe it's the look I was after. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and who would actually that it's not perfect is usually an internal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not coming from
Yep.
outside because the people from outside, if I
Right.
looked at that at Beth's piece, I bet I wouldn't know that anything was wrong with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It's
and does is that it? That we put that judgment on these things, right or wrong, as opposed to it just is. It's just, this piece of needlework is this.
Right. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
right.
that's all it is. You just don't like it.
Right. Right. Not wrong, just don't like it.
I don't
Yeah.
like it.
Or love it.
Mhm.
Either
Right.
way. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But but see, I think that's where it is. And it's interesting because now we're recording this on Tuesday. I'm teaching, substituting for the language arts teacher on Friday. And I think that is one of the places where it starts, is writing. You know, I get a grade for writing. Did I do it right? Well, I don't know. Did you express yourself? Did you say what you wanted to say? Downstairs in the art room, did you, and I know that teacher's very lenient about her grading because I can tell she's trying not to stifle creativity. Do it
Hmm.
your way. And there's always that one kid in the class who is, the premier artist and everything is beautiful, but maybe you have something to say with yours.
But
And and I
with the language, there's the grammar and the spelling and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff that there are rules for. And there's rules in art too, but
Yeah.
they're not being graded to the rules for in art.
Right. Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
how I should grade language arts.
Yeah. Well, I think and that's the trouble. See, that's where all this stuff gets is you got to put a grade on it. You got to evaluate. And yeah, grammar and spelling, you got to get that right because here, listen to me, you got to get. But uh, uh, but you have to get that stuff right. But within that, there's creativity
Absolutely.
in how you express the story you tell. And it's a story you tell with needle and thread, with words, with paint, whatever. And I mean, you look at abstract art. How much abstract art? For me, I look at it and I go, I don't get it. But then other people are absolutely moved by it.
Hmm.
You know?
Well, I think that was that term that Holly used. What was it called? Because I always call it the wrong thing. She said it was psycho. She was,
Psychogeography.
Psychogeography.
yes.
Yeah.
So the idea of getting feedback from your environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hmm.
and interpreting that into art. So I was with my girlfriends who are artists, and I explained that to them, and I said, and my friend is spending time um, with her husband who's been moved to assisted living. And so she was going to take a small piece of fabric, and while she was there, she was going to stitch her feelings into that piece of fabric.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But she's very creative. She's one of those people who there's and she said, if it doesn't turn out to be anything, that's okay. I've said what I want to say by stitching on it. And I think that's our fear as more formal stitchers. We're more like, well, it's got to look like this, and it's got to be stitches got to be like the perfect. They got to be perfect little X's. Well, sometimes no. Just play with a piece
Yeah.
of fabric and thread and see what it turns out to be.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or color, or however that creativity is.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. I mean, time. I think that's the most valuable resource we have. It's not really needle and thread and canvas and linen and that stuff. It's the time you spend at it.
Yeah.
But if you don't ever play, how can you ever grow creatively?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like with that Kathy Andrews when we did that show long ago
Right.
of all the work she did through her breast cancer thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
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 And there she was just getting those emotions out through needle and thread, whatever they were. Yeah. And isn't I've never done the slow stitching thing, but isn't that really at the heart of slow stitching? Is just to sit down and just move your hands with needle and thread.
Yes.
I mean, isn't that at the real core, the very center core of that? Just
Mm-hmm.
sit there quietly and just kind of get it out of your system.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No
just
particular
moving the needle.
pattern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. Me neither.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. I'm a little too geometrically inclined. I want I want some kind of a pattern.
Yeah. Yeah. But the concept is, I can connect with the concept, but
Oh yeah.
I'd rather have some organization to it rather than just random. Yeah, but and like crazy quilting, isn't that really where that's at too?
Yeah, but to get it to look
Maybe.
good, it's got to have more. It's
You
got to
Oh,
gotta
there's
have.
more
plan
to
it.
it.
You got to
Okay.
do a little bit more planning because I tried to do that randomly and that was a hot mess.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it does
Yeah.
need. It looks much better. In fact, it was strange. I was cleaning out and I found some crazy quilt blocks where I was instead of being just random in my colors, I was using a set color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But once I put that constraint on it and just use certain colors, it was much lovelier. I'll have to send a picture so maybe we can insert them. But
Mhm.
doing that, just enough rules, but my creativity expanded
Yeah.
huge.
Mhm.
When I looked at that,
Yeah.
I thought I'd gotten rid of them all. And when I looked at it, I was like, oh my, I forgot I did those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
But this Ken Robinson, when I got done reading that quote, and I read it a couple times, well, and then I typed it out, so it sunk in my head. It kind of to me, artists, if you get to the point in your adulthood where you're still creative, it's almost like you've survived a gauntlet or survived a filtering or a purge.
Mhm.
That you still can play, you can still ask that question, what if, and act on it. That so many of us, it just gets drummed out of, and for a lot of them, it gets drummed out so early.
Mhm.
In grade school, it gets drummed out. I've heard more than one kid say, "Oh, I'm not creative." Really, already?
Mhm.
You're not even in high school, and you already are not creative. Well, like Picasso said, uh, we were, yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I mean, we're not going to solve it, but I thought Ken Robinson really summed it up
Yeah.
the best that I've read, and yeah, because it's it's all of them. It's music, it's your standard art forms, all of it.
it's
Yeah.
engineering,
Mm-hmm.
and I to be creative in cooking and in any of those things. It doesn't have to be, high art. It's doing if you can't think creatively, you can't think of creative answers to problems. You just got to
Yeah.
do what
Right.
somebody did before you. No, maybe we need to push the boundary a little. Be able,
Hmm.
look beyond what's in front of you. Push it a
Yeah.
little.
Think outside the box.
Yeah. Yeah. That old thing. Well,
Tired.
and
Yeah.
you see it like Margaret loves to watch the cooking shows.
Hmm.
I can't stand them, but I've been in the room when she's had them on. And when you get those shows where here's 20 ingredients, make something, that's impressive stuff
Hmm.
because that's chemistry,
Hmm.
number one, a lot of chemistry, but it's that intuitiveness of flip this together, mix it up, and pour some of this on and see if we can stand to eat it. You know, I mean, that's the same thing. And
Hmm.
those top end people, I mean, of course I've never eaten any of the food they made, but you can tell the judges if it works. You can tell if it works, and it's just stunning talent.
So there's a mystery bag competition at the Iowa State Fair for kids. I There might be three. There's kids, adults, and celebrities, or maybe this. I don't know. We haven't watched it for a long time. It's one of the afternoons, and it's sponsored by a electric skillet company.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the kids are the most fun to watch. They get a grocery bag and it might have hot dogs and marshmallows and a few slices of, plastic cheese and noodles. It's just a conglomeration of things,
Yeah.
sweet and savory. And they have to make a dish and they have to name their dish. And then
Oh.
so this is limited to a small group. There's maybe 7 or 8. The judge tastes everything, but each kid has to explain to the judge what they made and how they use the different ingredients. It's just a hoot to watch it. And
And
then
they'll try anything.
the adults are fun too, but
Yeah.
they're a little more. In fact, they're allowed to bring uh, salt and pepper and spices and stuff. So some of them that have been doing it for a while, come prepared with their extra utensils and
Yeah. Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah.
it is it. So there are, to say that kids aren't creative. Some of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just if you give them the
You got to
opportunity to
allow
do
them
it.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to say, hey, here, play.
Yeah.
What's the worst can happen? Don't burn the house down.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Don't cut yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
I don't. Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know how you stop it. I just don't know how you stop taking the creativity out of things.
I don't
Because,
either.
like, in school, I mean, there's got to be a grade. We got to determine if the student can move on to the next level. Can they comprehend what they read? Can they do the math problems right? I mean, there's no creativity there. You might be in some math things, you might be able to take a different path, but in general, you got to get to a right answer.
Mhm.
And
Well, and at some point, I mean, I really honestly don't remember art classes when I was in grade school.
me
I'm
neither.
sure there were some, but I definitely not in junior high or high school. I
Yeah,
didn't take any art classes.
I didn't get any.
And I wanted to be an artist when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Huh.
So, how, you always ask the little kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be an artist.
Huh. And you didn't even get anywhere near close to that. Yeah.
No, no, no,
No.
not at all.
Yeah. No, I just don't know how you filter it out because, like this week, 2 days of science. You know, here's the instructions, follow them, execute, come up with the right answer. And we had
Mhm.
activities both days, in different classes. And no, there's no room for creativity there. I don't want you being creative there. I want you to experience this in this way, you know?
So that you understand the process.
Right,
I
right.
mean, really, with anything that you're going to do, you need to know the basics
Yeah,
before you can, with
right,
maybe with the
Jump
exception of
off.
art, where you just need crayons and paper or a wall or
right, right. But it works. It works for the Royal School. Do it our way,
mm,
all the way through, and then how many people have we talked to who, with that foundation, then go off
hmm
and get creative?
right.
But they're leaning on a really rock solid foundation
hmm
of skill. So that
Well,
works.
okay, so it's back to science. I don't know if your school does science fair. We did as homeschoolers. Um, we sponsored it. The homeschool group sponsored it. We hired judges, and I don't know what I don't even remember what my boys did. But one of them needed a microprocessor or something. Sam, Sam needed something expensive.
Only best boys would need a
He wanted
microprocessor for science fair.
I mean, it's just like I don't know what it was. It was a little thing, and I was like, "Yeah, I need this for my science fair project." And I was like, "Well," and he goes, "I could use it for this, this, and this." I was like, "Okay." So it was one of our expenses for homeschool that year. But the judges came up and they're like, "Your boys did what?" And I was like, "Well, I just bought the stuff. I have no clue what they did."
Yeah, yeah.
But I just let them go. I said, okay, you have to be able to talk to them. You have to be able to present it. You have to talk to them. Um,
hmm
that's the parameters. We did the
hmm
same thing when they had the science. They had to make a trebuchet, which is why I had a trebuchet in my shed for the longest time. Um, they did a cardboard
Planning
boat.
on storming the neighbors.
Um, uh, I think we made the farmer next to us nervous. And then they did a bridge building. And people
Yes.
always said, "Well, did you help your kids?" I said, "No, they couldn't drive. I drove them to get their materials, and I said, 'Do it.
Mhm.
You want to be part of this? You do it.' I have no clue.
Yeah.
Gonna burn down the house."
So there are things like, do you know about Sim City?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for like
I've
what,
heard of
fifth and sixth graders, sixth, seventh, something like that. Where there's some kind of, and this is managed by an engineering society, I forget which one, but they have a problem and they have to solve it. They have to build their city in the software. Then they have to build a model. I judged a lot of these,
Yeah.
and then they have to present their model and how it solves whatever the problem is to the
Mm-hmm.
judges. So that's one. Then the Women in Construction sponsors a Lego competition every year, where and I don't know what grades that's for. I think that's for quite a few grades. Uh, that one I never did judge, but they I don't know. They used to do it in Bettendorf. I don't know if they still do. Uh, then the other one that we got involved in, I forget exactly what it's called. It's innovation something or other. And I think at one time it was a national program and then that kind of died, but Iowa kept it up.
Mm.
And they start at the school level and then it goes to, county and then region and then state. And we judged several uh, county and state competitions. And here again, the kids have to have some kind of a problem that they're going to solve with their invention convention. That's what it's called, the
Okay.
invention convention.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a problem they're going to solve. They have to design and build their solution, and then they have to explain it to the judges. In
Uh,
one of the county competitions, we had a kindergartner, and she invented an activity box for she lived on a farm, and when her mom and dad
mm.
were out in the barn, she couldn't be in the house by herself.
Uh-huh.
So she had this little box, a shoe box, her mom helped her cover it with pretty paper, and then she had like crayons and a little pad of paper in there and some snacks, and that was
Uh,
her little activity box. Now, the grade school kids didn't move on to the higher levels of competition, but there is creativity out there. It's just that so many kids don't get an opportunity to get involved in it because,
yeah.
well, the other one that's really big is the robotics. I
Yeah.
forget what that's called, but you have to have a teacher.
The Legos League.
Yeah, you have to
Legos of
have it.
what?
What was it, Beth?
I think it's called the Legos League, the Legos Robotics League. There's
Okay.
two levels. There's like a junior level, like a junior high, and then there's a high school level that goes to national. And it's
Yeah, and I
big.
Because
think,
And they have a
yeah,
college level too.
the
yeah,
kids where I'm substituting, there's classes at each grade, I think, for that, and it's all with Lego pieces and microprocessors and
hmm
all that stuff. So that, but I
well,
never noticed what the name of it was. Yeah.
but there's something else that doesn't involve Legos. It's a real
Okay.
robotics. You build, again, you got your robot has to do X, and so it's a team of kids that build this robot. So you have to have a teacher that's willing to support it, sponsor it, let the kids do it.
Hmm.
You've got to have some outside help, parents, that know how to do these kinds of things
Hmm.
and will help the kids, in a class or after school group or whatever. And a lot of we had a lot of, I'm sure this is common in larger cities. We had a big problem uh, with Sim City in Cedar Rapids, Lynn
Hmm.
County, because there are Rockwell Collins is there, and that's a big aerospace company. It's been there forever. There's a boatload of engineers that work there, and they're really interested in this kind of stuff. So there were always 3 or 4 schools that won every single competition. So
Oh.
we tried. We gave an environmental award, and so we tried our best to find kids that weren't in one of those
Oh.
schools where everybody won everything every year, so that
Yeah.
we could kind of spread things around a little bit.
Yeah.
But in smaller schools or rural schools where you don't have that kind of resource,
Right.
they don't get to
Right.
participate. So again, they don't have an opportunity to exercise their creativity.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, today I had the eighth graders doing, and this is the Lego. They have the Legos, so if it's that one or some variation, but their job was to build something that would launch ping pong balls,
Hmm.
and there were three challenges. You could choose straight, left, controlled left curve, or controlled right curve,
Hmm.
and the contraptions that those kids came up with, and there was definitely creativity there.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter how you do it, get to an end goal. And then I think it was the sixth graders that I had on Monday. Uh, they had to go from line A to point A to point B with a device, and you couldn't use wheels.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so that there was creativity there within the context of electronics and mechanics that
Hmm.
you can't really change, but how do you put those together?
Hmm.
So yeah,
Right.
it's there. Yeah, and that was fascinating. Nobody could
Hmm.
do it, by the way. We were supposed to have a race, and nobody could get theirs to go straight long enough to get to point B. But they were working on it, and it
But
was the all right, well, and then somebody went back and worked, and they got it to go further straight. And
Hmm.
then one just crept along. It was like tortoise in the hare kind of thing, just crept along, but it had a real slow arc to it. But at least it was getting forward. And
Hmm.
you had a couple that would just start out and make a left turn and go back beyond, back around themselves. But You really had to give, and that was basically those classes are turn the kids loose, get out of the
Hmm.
way,
Yeah.
um, make sure
Hmm.
no blood is drawn, and
Yeah.
then let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's fun. It's fun to watch that
But
because you can see the minds go.
Hmm.
so as adults, that's what we lose. So
Yeah.
I know the art library tries to do things where we say, okay, we're doing this. This is the parameter. They made little hearts out of paper, and a couple of people showed up who were new, and one person I said, I don't know what to make, and she said, well, you're the artist. You can do whatever you want. And all of a sudden, the light bulbs went on. I can do
Yeah.
whatever I want
Oh.
with these things I have. And she did the best job after being
Uh huh.
let go.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That best job. But you know what I mean? You have to, I think we've got to give ourselves permission to be those. Just say, okay, maybe it won't come out perfect. I've played at the library and I've made an ugly mess. That's okay.
Hmm.
Did I have fun?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I learn something? Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
forward.
Well,
Yeah.
and we've talked about this too. Artists, we don't see everything an artist
No.
paints or painted.
Right.
You know, and your photography. How
Yep.
many shots did you
Oh.
take to get the one good one
Right.
or
Yep.
the half a dozen good ones?
Way too many. Yeah.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yep. Oh yeah.
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 Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your first efforts, maybe your 200th effort
Yeah.
is, is not going to be what you want it to be. But
Right.
maybe that
Yeah.
202nd or 203rd,
Yeah. Yep. Well,
Right.
that's
you have to
just
keep trying.
yeah. That's just it. Is you have to do exactly that and be willing. What like this Ken said. Uh, what was it? If you're not prepared to be wrong,
Right.
that's where he hooked me
Hmm.
because it happens with everything. I mean, for me, yeah, photography was like that. You just have to set up the camera and just figure you're going to shoot a couple hundred shots in the next 2 hours, and 95% of them are just going to be trash, but every
Hmm.
one of them you learn something, and
Hmm.
then there's that one. You get back and you load them into the computer, and there's that one. Wait a minute, how did I do that?
Hmm.
Wait, there's something here. Yeah, yeah, I can. If I crop it just this way, there's really something here. Yeah,
Hmm.
and oh, but yeah, I still have all my CDs where I burn all the files on, and I'm sure it would be a real experience to go in for a series, all the photos I shot of one subject, and
Hmm.
just look at progression or regression, whichever it was.
Hmm.
And then either you give up or there's that one shot that I actually processed all the way to the end
Right.
because it had something for it.
Hmm.
And then all the years that I did it, I think I can count 4 shots. One that in my mind is dead on, nailed it.
Hmm.
And I think there's like 4 that I would say, wow, I'd hang this on any wall, any place. Um,
Hmm.
but there's thousands of shots behind those. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, all this to say that everybody doesn't have to be creative. All you want to
yeah.
do is, cross stitch a pattern. There's nothing wrong with that. That's,
Right.
you know, I do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't really feel a real need to be creative most of the time.
yeah,
I change colors, but that's about the most that I do. Once in a while, I'll design something, but I don't, I'm not, like Beth is an artist. She likes to play with different stuff. And I don't do that.
yeah,
I don't like to do that.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, by
and I
far
just think
by
the whole process is
Yeah.
the
go ahead.
process is creative. Just the process
Yeah,
of stitching and stuff. That's part of
Oh,
it.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hold you up, Beth, in many discussions because you will try anything. You know, when it comes to dyeing fabric and stuff, you will absolutely try anything. And
Hmm.
sometimes it goes, all right, Beth, you tried. And then other times, like, wow, holy
Right.
smokes, what
Yeah.
happened there? That's cool. Yeah, but yeah, you have absolutely no um, no boundaries, no barriers. You just go for it, and you know that's. But it's cool to watch. I
Hmm.
can't do that. That's not my
Mhm.
makeup. But it's cool to watch you do it because you just go for it. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's fun.
Yeah,
So
I have to.
yeah, yeah. Well,
I'd
yeah.
go crazy if I didn't. I'd be like, oh no. In fact, I can't wait to get sunny again. I've got some ideas for sun printing that I just can't wait to try.
Yep.
Sunny and warm.
Yeah.
Well, it was when the last time we were together, and I was driving Rachel from the train station, your daughter, and we were talking about some technique, and she commented that, "Oh, my mom's probably already tried that," and
Yeah.
yeah, she probably has 3 times over. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She knows her mom. Yeah, yeah,
She knows. She knows.
yep. So yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Uh,
All right.
speaking
Well, thanks,
speaking
Ken
about
Robinson. What? Go ahead.
speaking about changing things. So when you were talking to Isabella on Sunday
Mm, mm-hmm.
about the different kinds of string,
Yeah.
you know what I thought? Watercolors.
Oh. Oh, Cindy.
Hmm.
That never entered my mind. I was thinking of some chord or something I needed to do. Oh, holy smokes, there it is.
Okay, so
Macrame with watercolors.
we're doing this name tag, which I don't have this. This is our chapter, a chapter
Uh-huh.
project, and it's got a twisted cord to hang it around
Yeah.
your neck. I don't really like to do twisted cords. I never get the measurements right, or they're too thin or too fat or whatever. I will do probably a twisted cord around the edge, maybe, or maybe I'll just whip stitch it. I don't know. But a macrame lanyard,
Yep.
and I do have.
Oh
I didn't.
yeah.
This isn't the watercolors that I used, but I do have a whole skein of watercolors. I don't know if a whole skein would be enough. I need to do some calculations on that, but I think that'd make a really cool lanyard.
Oh, I am so trying that.
Uh, Key fob, watercolors might be a little soft though for a key fob.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
What about just a regular pearl cotton though? Haven't listened to that one yet. So
pearl
like
cotton. Yeah,
Number 3.
I, you
yeah,
could use a
sure.
5.
Yeah.
Depends on how thick you want it to be. But what made me think of the watercolors, so I guess I am being creative. Uh,
Look at you. Look at
yeah,
you. Mark this down on the calendar.
she talked about one of the cords that she used. It has multiple plies
Yeah.
that are not separated. So I don't have any watercolors handy, but watercolors is normally 3 ply. I don't think
Right.
Yeah.
I'd separate them. I think I'd use it as it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when you said that, that's immediately what I thought. You wouldn't have to do anything. Just pull it off. Just pull it off and go.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's nice
Yeah.
thick. It's a nice thickness.
Uh huh.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah, I
think how
mean, she
pretty that
said,
would be made into macrame doing this
hmm
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she
Yep.
said you could use any cord or string you wanted to, kitchen
Right.
twine,
Right.
uh, the finer. So for jewelry, they use a very fine cord,
Yeah. Yeah.
which could be pearl cotton.
Yep. Because yeah, she has a book on jewelry, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yes, and that fell into my cart.
Fell into?
And so did her Christmas ornament book.
Oh, uh-huh.
She has a
Yep.
Christmas ornament book?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad. Bad.
It's at your library, Beth. Just go to your library. It's
Actually,
there.
I should ask.
Actually, I suggested to our library today that they should think about getting her beginner's book.
Mm-hmm.
That they
Yeah.
have a macrame book on the shelf. It's a translation from a Japanese macrame book, and it's a good book. That one might have fallen in my cart too. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's got some real complicated things in
Mm-hmm.
it, and it has all of the basics from I looked at it today, but then it gets pretty complicated. So
Yeah.
I think her beginner, for somebody that is a beginner, I think the beginner book would be a really great place to start.
Yeah. For people who didn't pick up on it, this past Sunday, Isabella Strombio, second time we've done a show with her on macrame, and her new book is Beginning Macrame. And yes, it's the first book we did, which was Mindful Macrame. That's impressive stuff. But I thought, oh boy, I'd have to work up to that.
Hmm.
This beginner book, that was the one thing I took away from it across the board is all of that stuff is very approachable.
Right.
Just just get some string. It's very approachable and very doable. Even the most complex stuff, like there's a
Hmm.
purse in there, which I won't make, but it's very approachable. You can tell.
Hmm.
Yeah, she did a good job of putting projects together for that. But
And
It's good
she
to
oh,
and she built on, so
right,
the first
right,
project has one knot. The second project, if I understood it right,
right.
has the first knot and a new knot.
Yes,
So as you work your way through the book, you learn to do additional knots while you're practicing the ones that you've already learned.
yeah,
see my little
yeah.
mind just started working because I also while cleaning my room I came across a little doll that I beaded the dress on. And
Ooh.
who knows when I found the time to bead a dress on a doll, but I did. And I was just thinking, gosh, it would have been faster if I'd just done macrame. That would have been a whole lot faster when you said the purse, because that would be a piece of cloth.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one of the projects in this Japanese book was a table runner, and they used like cotton cream colored table runner material. You can buy it's like, I don't know, 24 inches wide or whatever, probably different widths. Our store over in Amana has it, and it had red stripes down the edges. So they put a red macrame fringe on it.
Oh,
It is stunning.
oh,
There's different, and it looks like it's several inches long,
mm-hmm.
and different rows of knots, and then a long fringe on the bottom of it.
Oh,
And
mm,
it used a red twine or something.
yeah,
Just, I mean, that was the one that, as I flipped through the book, the project that really struck me as
yeah.
something, really kind of exceptional and real different, which is what I would expect from a book from Japan.
Right,
You know,
right.
the uh, I think it's Swedish weaving. Several of the Swedish weaving books are Japanese, and you
Uh-huh.
see different kinds of projects in them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, just like a, book from any other country, you're going to see these stitches that we use used in different ways
Yeah, yeah.
that maybe we wouldn't have thought of.
But now, see, there's another thing. Instead of making cording, do some kind of a macrame edge around your ornaments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since it's not, I know I used to put beads on it. So, because you like
Yeah.
you're just doing a right angle weave, you just put the bead in the middle while you do
Mhm.
that, and it holds it. And so you'd have
Mhm.
a really pretty beaded edge around
Hmm.
to add to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Good
Oh, that
idea.
would
So
be
there it
nice.
is. Yep. Yeah.
Just use pearl
Yeah. Her
cotton
big.
too,
Mhm.
Yeah.
a thin one.
Yep.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
that's bad.
Best.
Those are
We,
You can
we,
bad.
see. You can
wheels
see Beth's
turning.
wheels are. Yeah. Her
Yeah.
wheels are just flying.
Oh,
Little little grease blobs from the bearings are just going all over the place. Yeah. She's just. Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
already know how to macrame, so it's not like a new skill or something I'm
Yeah.
learning. I already knew
Yeah.
how to do that. I
Uh
did
huh.
it in the
See.
70s.
Yeah.
Hmm.
When it was the hot thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Mhm.
I should report. I think I put it in the note for the Isabella Strambio show. She had her mastectomy, and
Oh,
everything went well.
well, that's
And
good.
the doctor thought that they got everything. She still has to go through radiation, but the doctor thought they got everything. So um, she should be on the right road for that. So I
That's
was glad to hear
that's
that.
yeah, that's good to hear.
I I always hate those conversations. You know, I want to ask, I want to know, how
Mhm.
did your operation come out? But I really don't want them to, if it didn't go well, I don't want to bring it up.
Right.
But I'd,
Right.
I'd really like to know. And in that case, we talked so long about it in the show that I really wanted to say that it went well. And well, fortunately it did. So yeah,
That's
but
great.
it always makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Well, it's like talking to her about that. I wasn't quite sure. I think in a couple times in there, I even said, if I ask too many questions or the wrong one, 'cause I just don't want to set off a moment there. But she was terrific about it. She
Mhm.
wanted to talk about it. She was willing to talk about it because she wanted people to be aware. And I think the real message that talking before and after with her and through the whole thing was that she got so much support from so many people, a lot of it from the internet, that it really helped her through that whole process. And um,
And
as much
and
as
she looks great with no hair.
I know exactly. Yeah, yeah, she can pull it off easy. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yep, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how far she lets her hair grow back, though. Yeah.
Hmm.
She's terrific. She is
Yeah.
just terrific. Yep. Really
It was a
enjoyed
good
that.
show. Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. Yeah. Yep. So, and this whole thing, this creativity thing, Beth, you brought up a thing that I have struggled with. What stops you from working on a piece? And I have struggled with that because to me, in a lot of instances, there's a fine line there. Because I've had the smallest of things make me put it aside and never go back to it. Just one section just gives me fits and I set it aside and the switch is thrown. It's off. And I don't know what that is. What makes you stop working on a piece? I don't know what that is, but it can be it's overwhelming or I don't like it as much as I thought I would, or I literally have had, this one stitch, I just don't like the way it looks. I struggled with it, and so I set it aside and then I never go back. Yeah.
So one thing that you might try is go back to it and see if you can do the stitch now
Hmm.
when you're not frustrated, and maybe it'll be something will click. And the other thing is just look at it and say, am I ever going to finish this? And if the answer is no, then you just give it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's time to say, this project has reached the end of its usefulness in my stitching life. It's time to go to
Right.
Hmm.
to wherever old stitching projects go, which is my
Yeah.
basement, my house. But it sometimes that's the point. But I think sometimes if it's fear, then you've got to move forward on it. You can't just you got to push past that. And I heard the virtual lecture by Katie Strachan this past weekend through EGA's
Hmm.
virtual lecture series, which I have a PSA about. If you've signed up, you think you've signed up for virtual lectures and you do not receive an email from them saying the lecture is coming up in 2 weeks or a
You're
week,
not signed up.
then go and you have not signed up. Go check. You should get a receipt from them. I had someone contact me. They had not received. And they were like,
Oh,
I signed up for this lecture. Can you help me? And I'm like, I'm not sending
oh,
you the link. Go check your spam. Check this. No, they hadn't signed up. It was too late. They couldn't do anything about it. So anyway, that's
Yeah.
oh.
my
You
PSA.
have to do
Please check.
all the steps. Yeah, make sure you've
Mhm.
paid.
Make sure you
Key.
paid. Right. Yeah. Well, and it's easy to, you put it in your cart, but you forgot to log in. So you go back and log in and you forget to check out. That's a quick one to people do that mistake. That's a big mistake. But anyway,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Katie Strachan was talking about caskets and casketeers, and she said the biggest thing is people are afraid of two things, two major things. One is starting it and then gluing it down. But I just want to talk about starting it. I think she was correct. It's this fear that, well, I'm just going to make this one big project, and if I don't do it perfectly, it's not going to be great, and yada, yada, yada. They were made by 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just get over it. And
Hmm.
that's made me want to pull mine out. It's because it's this fear. Oh, it's not going to be perfect. It's, and I'm only making one. And it's like, no, just keep going. Maybe it's
Right,
not perfect, but it's going to be done. And most
right.
people who look at it are going to be awed by it because there's nothing like it in the needlework world.
Right.
Nothing like
And the
those
first
17th century caskets we recreated.
the first one that Katie did wasn't perfect either. If you
Right.
you
Yeah.
know
No. And she says
if
that.
she yeah. So
She
here
says that.
again, it's practice. You have to do it, or you're never going to get better at it.
Hmm.
Now that
Hmm.
that word fear is interesting because I've never feared needlework. I've never felt like, oh, I'm afraid to even try that. I've never had that. So I guess I don't understand when you say fearing the thing. What goes through your mind when you say that, or when you're in that situation?
Well, Well, right now I'm at the next stage in my casket. So I've got my little oxen. He's done. He needs his little horns, but he's pretty much done. But the next step is padding and putting him on there. I'm afraid he's not going to look right,
Oh,
that he's
oh,
not going to
okay,
look
okay,
by the way I envision him. And I've just got to get over it. That's a fear. I think people fear trying a new stitch. Um, the Phoenix band sampler, I had put it away for a while because um, time constraints. But then I think I also it's like, oh, I've got to put these beads on and, am I going to wreck my fabric? What am I going to do? And it's like, oh, just get over it. Just keep going.
mm.
I think I need to put batting between so it doesn't squish my
So,
stitches.
do you have to roll it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
have to roll
That
it.
is that is what I do. I put batting in to kind of cushion the beads so that it doesn't distort the fabric. It will a little bit anyway, because you still have something over the bead, but uh, it you know it
But that's the
works.
fear.
I can't.
It's stopped me, and I know it's not the only one that does that. I know that's not just me. Oh, if I put the beads on, then am I going to ruin this piece? Um,
Mhm.
I think there's always that fear.
So that's where that comes from. If I do this, I've ruined the piece, which seems like a heck of a leap to me. From
I know.
six beads that are done incorrectly to the piece is ruined. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so I don't
Well,
think it's that the beads are done incorrectly. It's just that when you roll it and it's tight,
Oh.
the beads are gonna put a
Oh.
divot
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
linen that's wrapped around
Yeah.
them.
But backing up to the fear of if I do this wrong, the piece is ruined. And I've heard that,
right.
but I don't
Hmm.
see that. I don't.
So I don't know that
I,
there's
I
uh, you can always unpick.
Right.
Maybe the if you're doing cut work or something like that, if you do it wrong, your
Oh,
piece is ruined. Well, yeah, but you can almost always fix that if you want to
mm-hmm.
do it. But that
Yeah.
stops a lot of people because they don't know how to do it or they don't want to do it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think it's the perfectionism that's in there, mixed in there. There's fear doesn't have to make sense. It's going to be sometimes it's irrational. So you have to
Yeah.
get past that, and
And it's not the fight or
that's
flight
pushing
kind of
past that.
fear.
Yeah.
It's just it's it's just a mental thing that we have to. So for me, for the Phoenix band sampler, it's I think more of a matter of convenience because of what I have to set up to work on it.
Mm.
I can't sit in my recliner and work on it
Yeah.
because I can't put it in my frame to hold it.
Yeah.
And so I've got to do something else, sit at in a different location, and then the dark purple fabric. Those are the two things that are kind of keeping me from working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Yeah.
also pretty much not the color, but the setup and not being able to work in my normal stitching place, which is why I did not meet my goal for our whip challenge.
Oh.
Even close. I didn't get even close. So
Well, that whole thing that's to me that's path of least resistance. I'll,
yes.
we will stitch on things that are easy to sit down and go,
Hmm.
and I know that's an issue for me. I have stuff I want to work on, but I have to know I have a block of time where I can focus
Hmm.
because if I get it out and set it up and start stitching on it, I don't want to have to stop 10 minutes later.
Right.
Where a cross stitch piece, I can pull it out, and if I have to stop, so what? You know?
Hmm.
But yeah, there's some pieces where no, I want to know that I can work on it. Because if there's five Jessicas in a row, for instance, I want to know that I can sit down and execute all those so they're all done in the same session with the same tension, blah, 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 and will look the same. Yeah, there is that. Yeah,
Right,
okay. Yeah.
right.
And so,
Or
so then that piece
headspace to
gets
work
set
on something
aside.
that's hard.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Or even something that's very difficult, like the white work samplers that uh, I have to reread the instructions a few times and look at them and say, okay, this is what I've got to do. This is the next step. Okay, now I'm ready to start.
Right.
Some
Right.
pieces are like that. They require more headspace, and sometimes it's just I have a half hour. I'm going to sit and do cross stitch for 30 minutes
Yep.
and
Hmm.
relax.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
And then those projects are the ones that move along because you have more of those opportunities than you do the 4 hour block without I got to be somewhere at 3 o'clock this afternoon, or I got to
Hmm.
make dinner, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then those bigger, more complex projects don't always move along, and I admire people who have the time to do that and can make those things move along. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's hard. That's hard to win for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, here we are.
Oh, it's
Yep. Long
over
list
an
of
hour.
stuff. Yep. Long
Let
list of
me
stuff. Hit.
let me just say one thing about the next topic, the cost of events. And
Oh yes.
we can talk about this more, but one of the comments or questions that the person that wrote in had was about the uh, fee to stay to the extra fee if you're not staying in the conference hotel. And that I just wanted to say that that is across the board thing now. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter if it's professional or non-professional. the organization pays the hotel a certain amount for that block of rooms, and if they don't get it filled because people are, and they know that there's going to be people from the wherever the location is that are going to come from home. And there's going
Yeah.
to people that are an hour away that are going to drive in every day or whatever. But that's why they make it's a commuter fee.
Yeah.
So you're not staying in the hotel where the rooms are booked for attendees, and that's just to make sure that they're not going to come up short.
Right. Well, let's just go a little longer. You brought that up. I mean, that is a topic we've bounced around here in the last couple of weeks amongst us, and then it has come up. A couple of comments on Patreon. Patreon member RAK wrote the cost of these events, and what I think Marcy wrote a piece about the cost of these events. They are so expensive that people are really starting to have second thoughts about whether they want to go, or just simply are saying, I'm not spending that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
And you opened the can of worms there, Cindy, with that, because in our little event, which was a huge loss for Marga and me, money wise, significant loss for us, and a big part of it was those hotel commitments.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sign that contract many months earlier,
Before you
you
even
make
know how
that
many people
commitment.
are going to come.
Yep. And we had, I think it was 30 days to get out of it. And then basically they have it so that if you don't jump out early, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And you're paying that money no matter what. Now, you might only pay 90% of it if you jump out a couple of months early, but you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just suck it up, and that's set up, and the hotel thing is so expensive, and food is so expensive, and that's another one where that's where they make their money,
Mm-hmm.
is on the food, the catering, and I mean it's set up so it's profitable for them, and it's not profitable for the customer.
No,
No. And so
no.
the cost to participate in these things goes up and up and up and up, just because those base costs are so high. They're
Well,
just so high.
and then there's the cost for the instructors,
Yep, that's
and
another one.
they get a daily rate for every day that they teach a class, or if it's a half day class, it's a half day rate. They
Yep.
get their travel expenses are paid, their hotel is paid. Uh, what else?
Well, there's got to be some food of some kind,
Yeah, they
right?
get per diem,
Per
although
diem
I'm
for
I'm
food.
not sure exactly why. And so the one that I was looking at was where I was getting all of this was a call for proposals for the Heartland region next year. And they said per diem, which is food, but the banquets and lunches were provided, were
Mm-hmm.
covered because they're part of uh, the registration fee that
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
pays. So
yeah.
the teachers don't have to pay. So really, the only thing they'd have to pay for is breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
But the per diem was like a full day per diem.
Yeah,
So I didn't quite understand that. But
yeah.
oh, and then I was looking at one just this afternoon that was an EGA request for proposal from some other uh, chapter, and they cover the cost of 2 extra bags on the
Mm.
airfare. Which,
Oh,
if the teachers are bringing models
yeah.
and their materials,
Yep,
they're going to need those extra bags,
yep.
and those are expensive these days.
Yeah.
So you've got the
Yeah.
venue cost, and then you've got the cost for the teachers. Uh, it, it, I understand why they're as expensive as they are,
Yeah.
but that makes it prohibitive for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the one that I was looking at going to up in Dubuque, that's why I decided not to go to it because
Mm-hmm.
it was $400 for the registration fee for 3 days,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that
Yep.
did include lunches and it included two banquets,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, and I could drive back and forth, but it's like an hour and a half. I don't want to get
Yeah.
up that early. So I would
Right.
have had to pay for the hotel. And then there was the cost of the kit and the
Mm-hmm.
cost of the class.
Yeah. Yep. It stacks up.
Yeah, for a region seminar
Yeah. Yeah.
that was 3 days
And
long.
they had good teachers at that seminar. They had
They did.
very good teachers at the local region. I know we did a region, the local guild did a region here. Um, we were in charge of it. This was pre-COVID though. Here's the other deal. Pre-COVID, we got a good deal on a hotel, a good deal on the room. I taught a class. I don't remember. I got paid $100.
Mm.
Maybe that was it. I don't remember. It wasn't much. It wasn't much. And
Yeah,
yeah, we had a
I
couple
think.
local people teach, and then that was it. It was very inexpensive still. But I think COVID changed that with the having to pay more for the venues. There was the truly a cutoff there, in
Yeah.
my mind. That's when prices really started rising.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, travel has just flat gotten so expensive because when I was editing magazines and had to put together the annual budget, and I would line up the trade shows and events that editors would go to, and if they were to a major city, I would, unless it was New York, I would just say $1,000 per person.
Hmm.
And I knew that over the course of the year, that would average out. Some would be less, few would be more, And if there was a New York in there, New York City, then I'd put down 1,500 or 2,000 because that's just a hard reality. But but I would do it now. I'm pretty sure that if I had to budget for editorial travel for a magazine, I'm sure I would make it $1,500 to know that I was going to have enough money budgeted. And then the end result is we would be going to fewer shows.
Right.
That would, because the money is not, the purse is not going to get bigger. The purse will stay the same. So then it's fewer shows. And so that the end result is the same as this. Yeah.
And then you look at your return on investment for that kind of thing.
Right.
Do
Right.
you get more advertisers? Do you get more
Yeah.
subscribers?
Yeah. No.
Do you get that money back? And you almost never see it immediately after the show.
Right.
Because I've done a lot of, they're not really trade shows, but like safety conferences and stuff like that where they have vendors. I've done a lot of those kind of vendor shows, and it's really all about being at every single one, seeing the same people year after year after year after year, till they get to the point to where they think, oh, I need to have some work done. I bet Cindy could do that, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'd call me.
Yeah.
Well, consulting firms don't like that kind of return on investment.
Right.
Let me tell
Right.
you,
Yep.
that's not good
Yep.
enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it becomes very difficult to justify those expenses,
Right. Right. Yep.
which
And then in
again,
the,
and for this,
again takes sorry, that takes away from the profit for the organization, because the vendors pay the organization a fee to be a vendor.
mm-hmm.
So you don't get a return, you're not going to be a vendor. So then the
Right.
organization loses that money.
Right.
So I'm sorry, go ahead, Beth. Now you forgot what you were going to
and
say.
I think that's the well, that's the point of the like why people can't afford to go to them. It becomes too expensive. You've got a family budget, your purse is only so big.
Hmm.
are you going to spend that family vacation money going by yourself for a weekend to go stitching? Are you going to spend that money as a family going together to do something else? Because travel's too expensive.
Maybe
Right.
it depends on how long you've been
Yeah,
married.
even if I could, right,
Or how
right.
crazy the
But
kids are
but
making you.
even
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I did do that a few times, but
Yeah.
now it would be very if I had small children at home, at the cost of things now, I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Then I could, because I did the Albuquerque ANG show and I stayed with my parents and went down.
Mhm.
And I think it was a $60, because I remember paying a $60
Mhm.
commuter fee for it.
Uh-huh.
It was very reasonable.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
You
couldn't have
couldn't do that
afforded to
now.
go any other way.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
Yep. No. No, it's really tough. It is tough on the organizations because they're used to doing national and regional seminars, for years. And
Mhm.
then they see attendance declining. Well, why
Mhm.
is attendance declining? Well, and the reality is it's just costs so much. And then I know for me, I look at it, how many kits could I buy for a given designer with that
Mhm.
money and get so much more stitching out of it than if I made a trip. So I start to make that evaluation. If I spend $1,000, how many kits is that? Well, and if you're a young person and you're using family vacation money,
Mhm.
and you say, wait a minute, I could get 2 or 3 kits and still go on vacation with my family. Well, that's a straightforward choice right there.
Mhm.
Um, So
Right.
it's tough, and I feel for like EGA and ANG. I mean, they're trying to have these national seminars, and I don't know what the attendance is, but every report I get is it declines just about every year,
Mhm.
and it's hard to. It's just hard, and you hear about some events where people are lining up on waiting lists to get in.
Mhm.
But then, there's a whole lot of other events. I don't know that that's the case. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And the somebody told me for Denver, the ANG seminar that's in Denver this year, it's downtown. I hate downtown hotels. Parking is terrible. You got to pay for parking. It's expensive,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But she said that when the committee picked Denver and solicited bids from hotels, they only got one.
Oh.
So I'm guessing that this is too small a group for most hotels. They don't want to bother with a few, 200 or 300 people, which is probably
Yeah.
what attends. Maybe 500 on for a really good uh, event.
Yeah.
And so the next one in 2027, I forget where that's going to be, but it's only going to be 3 days
Oh.
or maybe 4 days. It's quite a bit shorter
Uh huh.
than what they've been doing.
Yeah.
So that should bring the cost down.
Mm-hmm.
Should.
Yep. Should. But see, and the other advantage to me with that is people more people may be able to give up, say, 3 days
Right.
and take in an event like that compared to, can I give up a week? No, I can't.
Hmm.
That's completely out of the picture.
Right.
And by a week I'm counting travel days and the whole thing
Hmm.
door to door.
Hmm.
Um, you know, so a shorter event might just be the way to go.
Well, they do. I think most of them have options. You can go for one
Hmm.
day or 2 days or three
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
So you can kind of create your own adventure with these because they have one day, half day, one day, 2 day, 4-day classes,
Yeah.
whatever. They've got a variety, so you could choose to go for just, a 2-day class,
Right.
which of course reduces everything. And people do
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think another thing when you talk about classes that has changed the game, and here's COVID again, is virtual classes. There's so many of them that are now available at any time of the year and on your own time
Mhm.
that you go, wait a minute, I could do another class for the cost of flying to Denver or wherever it might be. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know that EGA is doing this, but ANG is doing what they call Spring Fling, and that
Mm-hmm.
is virtual.
Yeah.
And some of the classes are the same as they've had at a live seminar,
Yeah.
a face-to-face seminars, so they're, you pay for the teacher's time in the kit and you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to travel.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Which is a great advantage. And the other advantage too is the Zoom or the
Mm-hmm.
recorded lessons, which you can go
Right.
back and play again and
Mm-hmm.
again and again to get a technique down.
Yep.
But the I don't think Spring Fling does that
No.
unless the teacher does it on their own,
Mm-hmm.
and some teachers will. But you have the written instructions that,
Yeah.
you get through email.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got those, and so you just have to
Yeah.
pretend that the teacher is saying those in her voice.
But there are just so many more options for virtual classes.
Hmm.
Shining Needle Society, people like Debbie Rowley who are doing classes all the time on out of her own operation. There's
Hmm.
just so much of that now that's available, and for people who can't block out 3 or 4 days to travel somewhere, uh, there's just so many options, and then those are invariably recorded. And so if
Hmm.
you have trouble, you can go back. Teachers available, just email.
Hmm.
And there's so much more flexibility as opposed to going to a city for 4 days, unless and sometimes that's I really want say for instance really go to Boston. I go, oh, I'd love to go to Boston. I've never been,
Hmm.
and so you go and
But then
you know
if you want
oh,
to do sightseeing, then you have to go a couple of days either
right,
early or
right,
stay late, and then you got
right,
more hotel expenses
right,
and
yeah,
food and
exactly,
everything else.
yeah, yeah,
I'm going to throw a
Or you,
monkey wrench in this real quick. What about there's teachers that I would do anything to take a live class from? Vet
mm,
Stanton,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
um, Jen Aiden Christie,
Hmm.
mm-hmm.
and there's another Royal School of Needlework one that I can never remember her name. Um, those people, I think you would learn so much more being with them and watching their hands move, um,
Mm-hmm.
to learn the techniques better. Will that ever happen for me? I don't know. I doubt
Yeah,
it. But those would be teachers. There's certain teachers I'm at the point where it's like it's more than just a technique. It's like I want like to take a class from them in person to see how
yeah,
they do things. And I think
yeah,
in-person classes have an advantage of you seeing what the teacher is doing and then talking to your fellow students
mm-hmm.
in
Yeah,
person.
yeah,
Well, and having the teacher there to look at things that, to see what people are doing and, you know,
Right,
correct if necessary,
right,
yeah,
or whatever.
right,
Not that you can't send the teacher a photo of what you're doing, but you don't have
right,
that instant one-on-one.
right.
right.
And there is, and I'm with you 100% on that, Beth. There is something to be said for being able to spend a weekend with 15 other people with Jenny Aiden Christie. I mean, just to be there and learn directly from her, to have side conversations with her. There's something to be said for that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a treat, a real treat, and in many cases worth the money. Hazel Blomkamp. What a hoot it'd be to spend a weekend in classes with her, you know. But
Yeah,
you know,
she was,
yeah,
but she was great even in a virtual class.
was she?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so that is valid. I mean, I think that's absolutely valid. Yeah. Helen Stevens comes to mind as one that I would, you know, yeah,
Well,
um,
and that's why EGA makes an effort to bring teachers from other countries to their
right,
seminar.
right.
And then, maybe you can't get to the seminar, but most of the time they will travel around the country for a few weeks and visit other,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, and that's how I got into the Hazel Blomkamp class because she was scheduled to come to Cedar Rapids to teach that class. And then she couldn't get her visa. So
Mm-hmm.
she had to do everything virtually. But we were still in the classroom together,
Oh,
so
okay.
we were still, talking amongst each other
Yeah.
and we could communicate with her, as back and forth. She could hear us, we could hear her, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Well,
the
and
way that she dealt with being able to see the way she did things was she had super great videos of her
mm,
stitching,
uh,
which I would rather have that than stand in a huddle around a teacher. I don't like that.
yeah. 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 Stop. Stop. Back up. Go forward. Yeah.
Yeah,
Be able to
and
do that.
Hazel, if you take a class from her, you have lifetime access to the
Oh.
videos
Mm,
for that class.
that's big.
That is, yeah, which is a
Yeah.
good thing because I will get that out eventually. But
And then it's there. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, and that is absolutely a brilliant thing that EGA does with those international
hmm
teachers and getting them to travel around. I mean, that is just brilliant on
hmm
several fronts. Because yeah, there's just a lot of people who just simply can't make a trip, and if it
hmm
comes to their area, well, like for you, if she had been able to get the visa, how many times does a Hazel Blomkamp come to, you know?
which is why I wanted to take the class because you had talked to her, Fiber Talk interviewed her. She's a just a fascinating person
Oh yeah.
and a personality,
Mm-hmm.
so uh, her kind of embroidery is not my thing at all.
Yeah.
It's more cruel embroidery. I've done that. I know I can do it. It's just going to take me some practicing to get to
Yeah.
where I can do it's mostly the detached buttonhole.
Yeah. That one.
Yes. Everything
That one.
else I think I can deal with, but the detached buttonhole is going to take me a lot of practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm
Trish Burr's another one I'd move a mountain to see.
Yes.
Allison
Yeah.
Cole.
There.
Yes.
I was trying to think of that in Australia. Yeah, that was another one. Oh yeah,
hmm
without a doubt. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd move a big mountain to be in that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
I just think you learn so
In
much in
in
something
her
like
studio.
Oh, oh, Cindy. Oh,
oh, please.
now
Road
that's
trip.
next level stuff. That's next level stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Oh
Because
man.
Australia.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those big windows with the kangaroos walking around out in the yard. Yeah, that's next level. Yep.
Yeah.
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 And her
Oh
shop.
man.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that and the shop's right there too. Yeah.
hmm
That would be
Yeah.
painful on my pocketbook.
It would
That's
be.
yeah, that's hard on the yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
going to
what
the shop. We're not talking about getting there in her class. I'm talking about her shop.
her shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
got that.
Yep. Yep. So, well,
Yeah.
it's just I think in general for these events, it's a transition time and there's a learning curve that we're on and that the organizations are on in terms of what's going to be the best combination because it's the best combination that's going to bring in young stitchers. Because if you're going to have a future, you got to have something that is going to bring them in and make it accessible to them or
Mhm.
or there won't be a future, and so
Right.
you got to play that game too.
And I think that uh, the membership is the barrier to entry there.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, you got
Yeah.
to be an A and G member before you can come. Well, no. You
Yeah.
maybe you make non A and G or EGA members pay a little bit more, but you let them come so they can see what you're doing
Right.
and, see how you learn and maybe learn a new technique or whatever. That's how you suck them in
Yeah.
because younger people are not joiners.
No, they're not. No, they are not. Mm-mm. Nope.
Every organization I've been involved with over the last 40 years, you can see how the numbers have declined and that the younger people just are not interested in joining them.
Nope. Nope. Don't want to join. They don't want to go to the meetings. They don't want to be officers. They don't
Nope.
want to do any of that stuff.
Nope.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you guys have been deeply involved in organizations for a long time, and you know how hard it is to get people to fill spots, to be officers,
yeah.
to do the. It's darn near impossible, and the people who've done it burn out. They just I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I can't
Yeah.
be that person again this year. No
Mhm.
more. And then, all right, who's going to fill it? And then crickets. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's really tough. Then
Mhm.
how do you keep an organization going if you don't have a treasurer, if you don't have a program director? Yep. Yeah. And then the
You
president
want to-
says, all right, I'll take it on just to keep it going until we can find someone. And then they're burnout. And
Right.
And then people
Yeah.
complain because they don't like the program
right. Oh, yeah, there's that.
Oh,
or
Oh,
because
good.
you're
Set
not.
Beth off now. Oh,
Yeah.
good. That's just going to make Beth mad. Yeah. Okay.
oh, please don't get me started.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Or because you're not
So,
bringing teachers in or whatever. Then for us, our chapter, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago said, let's bring a teacher in. Okay, so I did a lot of work to find out, you know, let's bring Debbie Rowley in. I found out what it would
mhm.
cost and all that kind of stuff. When it came down to actually signing up, everybody that said, "Oh yeah, we're really interested. We'll be," no,
No.
it was
Right.
too expensive.
Yep. Yep. And there you are.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they didn't have to travel anywhere, but we had to pay her travel expenses because she was
Sure.
going to come here.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that was before COVID and you know
Yeah.
inflation and everything else. So
All the good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
We could probably do 2 hours listening to the two of you talk about trying to keep organizations running. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll not do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Now, well, we're going to stop at an hour. Now it's an hour and a half. So now we're really stopping.
Okay, I'm
So,
sorry.
no, I mean, I think it's important to talk about that
Yeah.
I
because
do
it's a harsh
too.
reality. It
Mhm.
really is a harsh reality in this world. There's events. People want to have events, want to go to events, and then wait a minute, it costs so much. I can't do
Mhm.
it. And
So what I'd say is, if this is something you'd really like to do, start yourself a little savings account
mm-hmm.
and squirrel away a little bit of money in that account and watch for events. Whether and I do think uh, I'm now I don't think the EGA seminar last year was open to anybody, but their sampler thing was open to anybody.
Right, right.
And I think the ANG seminar in Denver is open to anybody. Not positive about that, but
Mm-hmm.
watch for these kinds of things and find if you see, a project or a teacher that you're interested in learning from, then look at what you've got squirreled away and see if you've got enough money to maybe not cover everything, but enough to justify
Yeah.
going and taking the class. I think it just requires a little bit of planning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure.
And maybe it's 3 or 4 years before you find the project that before Jenny Aiden Christie comes over here.
Right.
uh,
Yep.
And you can
what
get to her. And you can get to her.
yeah, and you can get to her. Right.
Yeah.
Uh, but that is a reason to be involved in the EGA, in a
Mm-hmm.
local
Yeah.
chapter, because you can help influence those kinds of decisions.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
when they say these are the international teachers we have coming, these are the projects they're, excuse me, they're offering, you know,
Yeah.
then you
Yep.
bring it to the chapter and say, okay, let's think about this one.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But you have
Yeah.
to
Well.
be there. You have to be willing to participate and
Mm-hmm.
be an active part of the organization.
Yeah. So true. So true. All right. We got to stop. That's
Okay.
it. I was just going to say Sunday we're going to have so and so, but I'm not sure. So got to see how that plays
Maybe.
out. Um, so yes, and then next Wednesday will be the first Wednesday of the month, so that will be our Stitch Hour on YouTube, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So join us for that. That's it. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.